Welcome back to 10 Minute IO. You'll find bite-sized information on all topics related to industrial organizational psychology. In the last video, we talked about test validity, the 3 C's of validity: content, construct, and criterion-related validity. Validity is extremely important, and given the current excitement about the new forms of assessments, whether it's gamification, neurological testing, it's important to remember that unless the test passes those 3 C's of validity, then you may be looking at an assessment that is more hype than anything else. Today we'll be talking about personality assessments and the horoscope, what I'm calling the horoscope test. Let's get started. Let's pretend that you went to go see your friendly neighborhood fortune teller, and she tells you the following. I say she because I'm stereotyping here, because all the fortune tellers I know are females. I apologize if I offended anyone. She says that disciplined and self-controlled outside, you tend to be worrisome and insecure inside. She also says you have a great deal of unused capacity, which you have not turned to your advantage. You have a tendency to be critical of yourself. You have a great need for other people to like and admire you. What would you think to yourself? Would you think that this person had some special powers, somehow figure you out? Now let's pretend that instead of going to the fortune teller, you took a personality assessment at work and you got results something like this. Would you be blown away by the results? If I were to now ask you to rate those statements on how accurately they apply to you, what rating would you give it here? 1 being not like me at all, 5 being completely true. Go ahead and, just for fun, pick a number. If you haven't caught on already, the statements that you saw earlier, what they have in common, and some of the ones that additional ones shown here, are that they're general and vague statements. Take a look at the first one. You have a great need for other people to like and admire you. Most of us want that. You have a great deal of unused capacity, which you have not turned to your advantage. Most of us believe that's true. Disciplined and self-controlled outside, you tend to be worrisome and insecure inside. Who isn't, right? You have a tendency to be critical of yourself. Many of us are. While you have some personality weaknesses, you are generally able to compensate for them. Most of us are that way. And the last one, at times you have serious doubts as to whether you have made the right decision or done the right thing. Come on now. A guy named Bertram Ford, clinical psychologist from UCLA, who studied this phenomenon extensively, one of the first to study this phenomenon, said that these statements are universally valid personality descriptions or descriptors, and they can apply to just about anyone. And you'll find that with fortune tellers and palm readers and so on. If you do run into these types of statements, general or vague statements, you need to be careful before interpreting or personalizing these statements to yourself. And that's really the point I'm trying to make. The start of this phenomenon, or the study of this phenomenon, goes back more than half a century to Bertram Ford's 1948 study, in which he gave his students a fake personality assessment. I say fake personality assessment here is because he used a real assessment, but he gave them a fake report containing identical statements like the ones you saw earlier. What's even more interesting is that he pulled those statements out of a horoscope column. After giving these students the same exact report, he asked them, how accurately do these statements describe you? And on average, across, I believe, 32 students or so, he obtained an accuracy rating of 4.26 out of 5. What this says is that we have a real tendency to want to personalize or make it our own statements that are highly vague and general enough to apply to just about anyone. This tendency was later labeled by Paul Meehl, a measurement specialist and clinical psychologist from Minnesota, as the Barnum effect, after the famous circus showman and a hoaxer. So at this point you may be asking, so what? How is this relevant? Well, it's relevant because as a measurement specialist, I'm interested in accuracy in measurement. If we have a tendency to want to believe what is said of us, we need to be extremely careful about the conclusions we draw from assessments in general. whether it's personality or any kind of assessments, or even what is said of us from fortune tellers. Think about this. If I wanted to be a con artist, I could create a personality assessment that is full of general and vague statements, such as the ones that I just showed you. And if I were to administer that to and market that to thousands of people, majority of those would give it, based on research, would give it a rating, accuracy rating of 4.2 out of a 5-point scale. So that means that they would see that as valid assessments. So assessments that provide general or vague descriptions may be leveraging or are leveraging this Barnum effect that has been shown over and over and over, making the test seem more valid than it actually is. This is why it's important for us to be critical when we interpret reports that are given to us by any assessment. I'll go over how you can apply the horoscope test in the next slide here. So the question is, how do you know that your favorite personality assessment is actually measuring what it's designed to measure? Here's what I recommend. The next time you take a personality assessment, go ahead and read the result, rate the result, accuracy of the original profile that was given to you by the assessment on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being extremely inaccurate, 5 being extremely accurate. Step 2, randomly choose another profile, assuming that it's available, and rate it accordingly. Rate it as if you received that from the original assessment on a scale of 1 to 5 again. Do the same thing one more time. Choose another profile and rate it as if that was your original interpretive report. Now, if your ratings on steps 2 and 3 are close enough to the original rating, you may want to question the assessment's validity. In other words, if the description on the second profile or second or third profile applies equally well to you as the first profile, then the assessment is likely capitalizing on this Barnum effect. Well, that's about it for the horoscope test or the Barnum effect. My name is Steve, an IO psychologist, and I want to thank you for your time. If you liked the video, please be sure to share with your friends and family. Coming up next, what the bleep is IO psychology? I hope you'll join us next time.